Hello, welcome to Discussing Fitchburg Now. I'm your host, Sam Squalia. You're watching this on FATV, Fitchburg Access Television, thanks to the Workers Credit Union Virtual Studios. And this week we are talking about home ownership. We're talking about eviction prevention, first-time home buyers, loan modification, all the gritty details that you need to know in order so that we can continue to increase home ownership within our area of Fitchburg and North Central Massachusetts. And helping facilitate this conversation, I have Meredith Garrity from NewVue Communities and Adam Droz from RCAP Solutions. Thank you for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so we're talking about the different levels from home ownership, all the way from simply renting a home in our area, all the way to purchasing a home and getting a mortgage and having potentially loan modifications with that mortgage. So let's start at the beginning right now with an issue that is affecting kind of a lot of people when it comes to the evictions thanks to this pandemic. So we have eviction prevention programs that NewVue Communities and RCAP Solutions help collaborate on, Meredith, is that correct?
Yeah, so both NewVue and RCAP Solutions offer eviction prevention programs and counseling. So NewVue provides counseling, and then RCAP Solutions, and I'll let Adam talk a little bit about it a little bit more, but they are actually the administrators of some financial aid resources that are available. But I guess the overall message that we want to give out is that this pandemic has been really hard on everyone. And in particular, we've seen this unprecedented amount of tenants struggling. And so luckily, here in Massachusetts, there's been a pretty robust response to that. There's been legal services and amped up, and there's been financial resources put together. But the key is that tenants need to know the information, know that those resources are available, and seek help. And so NewVue Communities is a HUD certified counseling agency, and we have counselors who are available and ready to help hold people's hands from the very beginning and walk you through the process for coming up with a plan, like what resources are available for you. What actions do your landlord have to take? What actions do you have to take? So I guess with that, I'll hand it over to Adam, and maybe he can talk a little bit more about some of the resources that are available to tenants.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so trying to piggyback off what Meredith said, there are a lot of resources that are out there for struggling tenants and renters who've been affected by the COVID crisis. So there's a program that's available in all of Massachusetts, the Emergency Housing Assistance Program, and RCAP administers these funds in Central Massachusetts. So there is an online application that anyone can go to. They can apply online at mass.gov/COVID housing help. And this is a program that can help with things such as rental arrears, stipends, security deposits, first and last month's rent, moving costs, and sometimes even furniture. So it can help with a lot of different things. One thing that we like to say is anyone who needs assistance, even people who haven't reached out for assistance before, are absolutely encouraged to. There are the guidelines, the requirements are pretty generous. It's anyone under 80% medium income can apply for these funds. And so once you apply online, your application will be shot out to a processing center. And there are several different organizations throughout Central Mass that handle these funds. So it might not be RCAP that's taking care of you, but it might be RCAP that is taking care of you. So we will help you. We will review the application. They will determine what funds you're available for, and they will help you actually pay the funds directly to the landlord for, like I said, security deposits, first and last month's rent, moving costs, things of that nature.
So this is a program to help renters who can't, who may be deferred paying the rent and they can't pay the back rent from during the pandemic. Maybe they can't pay the rent right now due to some issue. What other, you can't pay your housing. What other issues would be appropriate to contact NewVue for counseling or through RCAP for the fund disbursement?
I would say generally, like if you are struggling, because there are local partners, there used to be a lot more funding to help with utilities. That was another housing related cost where people were struggling. A lot of that funding is kind of drying up, but there are still local partners who have resources. And so I would say that, and even if you're in the beginning, like you're gonna make this month's rent, but you're not sure about next month's rent. I would say just if you are feeling financially insecure, which a lot of people are right now, we will take a very individualized approach and talk to you and try to figure out where you are. And so luckily the online application, as Adam, for the RAFT program, as Adam mentioned, is pretty accessible and easy. It's pretty intuitive and easy to fill out. But if you are in that moment right now and you feel anxiety, sometimes it can just be helpful to have someone with you to reassure you and help you fill out that application. And so that's something NewVue can do. We have our staff are on the phone weekly. We have weekly meetings with RCAP and we discuss client cases. And so I would just say, if you are feeling insecure, there are resources available and reach out early.
And now, is this also something that, say you are a landlord and you own, a multifamily in Fitchburg or the surrounding area, and you find that your tenants have been having trouble paying the rent? Is this something a landlord can contact NewVue Communities for, or contact them for the tenant, or RCAP Solutions? Is this something that can also help the landlord?
Yes, the tenant eventually has to become involved in the conversation, but the referral can start with the landlord or the tenant for sure. And there is a landlord application.
There's a landlord application for these programs as well.
Yes, the tenant's eventually going to have to contribute to that and give authorization, but the program works with landlords and tenants.
All right, sounds like good opportunities. All right, so do you want to move on and start talking about moving into home ownership programs? I know that, right now we're seeing historically low interest rates to borrow funding, but, potentially those are going to increase this year. So now might be a great time to buy. How does someone who's never owned a home before kind of start that process? It's kind of a complicated thing to get involved with a bank, maybe, where do you start?
Great. Well, I would suggest a great starting place is NewVue Communities First Time Homebuyer class. We provide, it's a 9-hour curriculum, and it provides a general overview that covers a lot of different topics. So it talks about pulling together your team. So working with a lender, working with a realtor, property insurance. We have a lot of, they're kind of fun. We have a lot of presenters and partners come in. So each month we'll do a class, and we'll have a different lender or a different realtor or different real estate attorney present at our class. And so that is just a good starting point. And then if you need continued assistance, if you want to sit down in a more private setting and get individualized information about your situation in general, we provide pre-purchase counseling. So we can help people review sort of mortgage products, sort of figure out what your budget is, how much of a Ford can you or how much of a home can you afford. But a great starting place is that first-time homebuyer class. And what's nice about it is we offer two different options. We offer a virtual class over 3 different nights on a monthly basis. So it's a 9-hour curriculum. So each night it might be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Generally, we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we do offer classes in Spanish, although not as often as the English classes. And so you can go to our website, newvuecommunities.org, and check out information about when the next upcoming class is. But the other option we have, because we understand 3 hours a night on Zoom we're all done with 3 hours of Zoom. So we offer a virtual go at your own pace class, which is like an online curriculum that you can move through. And then after you go through that move at your own pace class, you will have the opportunity to meet with a counselor to get any of your questions answered. So you can sign up for one. Surprisingly, we found a lot of people like the virtual class because they get to meet other potential homeowners, and it's kind of fun. You know, they have conversations, they get to ask the presenters questions, but both options are available.
And RCAP Solutions also does first-time homebuyer classes?
Yeah, we do them in the lower area of the central Massachusetts region. So we do those for that area, and then NewVue is the Fitchburg North Central kind of area.
You could definitely, I mean, a lot, because these classes, so RCAP or NewVue's classes are online right now. I think you guys are doing a hybrid model, and so you know, if the week that we're doing a class you're not available, RCAP is definitely an option. But NewVue tends to have the connections to lenders and real estate professionals sort of centered around Fitchburg and Leominster, whereas RCAP has much more of their network based sort of in Metro Worcester.
Yeah.
Yes, I see the hybrid workshop so that you can do online and in person, because sometimes some people work better when you're able to talk to people in person, and you know, but with the COVID and the upticks in cases, you know, virtual is a nice backup to be able to have that as an option, like we are now.
We hope to move to a hybrid model. We've just been very nervous and cautious about it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have homeownership programs like a first-time home buyer, and that would be like a pre-purchase counseling. So the first-time home buyer classes, and when you're ready to go and you have if you have very specific questions, you can get counseling services one-on-one with NewVue Communities.
Mm-hmm. And if you're considering buying a home, like maybe you're 2 to 3 years out, I'd say the home buyer class is sort of like you're 1 to 2 years out. Like the time to take it is when you think, you know, I have some savings, my credit's okay, and I feel ready to buy a home. I mean, you're definitely like having the education anytime is really helpful, and we would never turn anyone away. We always welcome people, but I'd say the home buying class is very relevant for people who are like 1 to 2 years from buying a house. But if your longer term goal to buy a house is maybe 3 to 5 years, you need to work on your credit, you need to create some savings. We also offer a financial coaching program to help people get to that place where they can be ready for home ownership.
And in a financial coaching kind of capacity, you might go over, you know, how much money you make, how much money you spend, creating a budget, and preparing, you know, looking 1 to 2 years out onto how to save that money for a down payment.
Yeah, exactly. Creating a budget. A lot of the clients we're seeing right now, what they need to work on is their credit. So working on credit repair plans, reviewing your credit score, and creating a specific action plan. Okay, I'm going to pay down this card first. I'm going to tackle this loan. And so getting people in a place where they not only have savings, but also a credit, and they're home buyer ready.
Savings, credit, and a plan to eliminate your debt. How important is a budget when you're looking at purchasing a home? Would you
I'd say
say
it's pretty
for most
important.
clients?
I mean, a lot of people I don't think a lot of people do budgets. And I think after they do the budget, they work with a counselor, it just becomes less overwhelming. Like you have something there, and you better understand your finances. And so I think it's real, and it's also really important, you know, once you become a homeowner, it's not just about becoming in a place where you're ready, you know, I have savings, I have the credit score, but can I carry this mortgage? And so understanding that impact of, okay, now I have a mortgage to pay each month. How is that going to impact? Although I will say rental prices are just increasing. And so I think that's why we're seeing a lot of people look to homeownership right now, because it's like, I'm practically paying a mortgage anyway, might as well own the home.
Oh yeah, and Fitchburg has a very high percentage of renters compared to our general region. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I don't remember the exact statistics.
I
wanna
think it's
say
in
it
the
was
40% range.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to say it's like a 70, like 30 or 40, 60. Whereas other communities, you'll see a 90% homeowner.
Home ownership.
Yeah.
So does this program work if you're buying a duplex or a 3-family or more?
Yep, that would be a great place where you might want to do pre-purchase counseling. And so, but we do go over sort of everything. And duplexes, that's a great way to have home ownership to, you know, get a little bit of income. But we want to also make sure that you're ready. So like if the tenant moves out, you still need to be able to carry that mortgage. Or if there's a heating system breakdown, you need to be ready. That's on you. You were the homeowner. And so definitely something we promote, and there's a lot of opportunities in Fitchburg to buy those types of homes. That's not the housing stock we see in our area. And it can be a great affordable option for families. And so, but if you were to be considering buying that type of home, I would definitely recommend pre-purchase counseling.
It can be a lot more complicated than just purchasing a single family home.
Mm-hmm. Not unattainable. Like I've met so many people who I'm surprised to find out, oh, you're a landlord. Wow, that's so cool. And so definitely something that you can do, you know, regular people do it. But definitely good to have the education and knowledge before you get into it.
Yeah. And one thing I would add is I think these services, you know, both NewVue and the Fitchburg area and RCAP kind of in Worcester, these are services for people that are on any step of their homeownership journey. So if they're new to buying a house, if they recently bought a house, you know, reach out. There's probably a program that we can connect you with. On the opposite end of that, I do think it's good to mention as well. We never want to see this, but we do foreclosure prevention. So if someone is struggling, if they can't pay their mortgage, if they're behind with their finances, and it's not looking good, we can offer one-on-one counseling with homeowners to try to prevent foreclosure.
So
Yeah.
at what point would someone want to look into a foreclosure assistance program? I mean, at what point, you know, you can't pay your mortgage this month, or or I lost my job, or I had a medical issue and it's looking like I might not be able to afford, you know, some bills. What is the point that they should call?
That's a great question, because a lot of people wait, and the longer you wait, the less likely you're going to have a successful outcome. So we really, really try to encourage people to reach out early in the process. So if you're in that place where you're like, again, this month I made my mortgage, I don't know if I can next month, that's the time to reach out. Not, my house is going to auction tomorrow, I need some help. The earlier you reach out, the better, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to have a successful outcome.
And so what are some of the assistance programs that are available for homeowners that look like they are going to be struggling paying this mortgage?
So the state just introduced a new program called the Homeownership Assistance Fund, and this is a very generous program. This is, luckily throughout the pandemic, we have not seen a lot of foreclosures because people are in forbearance. There's the moratorium, and also the high housing market has really helped a lot of people have equity in their homes. We do anticipate that there will be more foreclosures in 2022 as people leave forbearance. You know, the moratorium is over. And so Massachusetts came out with the Homeownership Assistance Fund, and there are financial resources for back owed rent and other housing related costs. And so, but again, one of the best ways to connect to those programs is to reach out to RCAP or NewVue to work with a counselor, because they can help identify if you're eligible for that program. If you're not eligible for that program, what is another step? Oftentimes people will work with the lender to come to a modification. That's really one of the successful outcomes we look for, is to get that mortgage to be an affordable mortgage for the homeowner.
And so we have, you know, you're in your home, you own your home, and you have there's a foreclosure modification kind of or assistance program. Now there's also a home modification loan program. I see on RCAP Solutions information, if you need some work done at your house, but you can't afford it. You know, if you need, you know, assistance due to maybe you were injured and you're now in a wheelchair, but you can't access your home because there's 5 steps going up to it. What are the kind of you know, situations, and what are the offerings available for the home modification loan program?
Right. So the Home Modification Loan Program is a great program. It's throughout all of central Massachusetts that RCAP Solutions administers. And you're correct. It's primarily for people with a disability or are mobility impaired or are elderly. So some of the things that you can modify your home with is like a stair lift, a ramp, a bathroom modification. If you need like a walk-in shower or bathtub, that's something we can assist with. Things like decks, anything that's primarily related to your medical condition or inability to move throughout the house. We can provide funds through this loan program for you to be able to make these changes. So RCAP doesn't actually do the modifications. We do the funds for them, and then it's up to the homeowner. There's a process where they complete a form with a contractor, and then RCAP will pay the contractor to do the work to your home to make it more accessible and safer for you to live in.
So my mother owns her own home, but now she's having trouble getting up and down the stairs and really just needs to stay downstairs. So maybe we need the bathroom fit out downstairs, something like that. So this is a loan that we would take out through RCAP Solutions and pay back that loan. How exactly does it work, or how roughly does it work?
So the loans are pretty generous. They can range anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000. There's no interest on them, and there's no monthly required payments on them. The only payment you do is when the property is sold. So if you're selling your house, that's when we would require a repayment. But But like I said, no interest, no monthly payments are required. It's really a program that's here to help people. And that's the end goal.
Those are great terms, Adam.
Yeah, and the income limits are very generous. You can find the income limits on our website. We have a website, rcapsolutions.org/HMLP. They are very generous income limits. So we encourage all people who think they could benefit from this service to apply online.
Great. That sounds good. All right. So for the eviction prevention, right? So we talk about eviction prevention, but what about for those people that are beyond that point and now they have to find a new place to live? That's one problem that I hear all the time, and people are constantly asking me for help in finding an apartment, and it's almost the one thing I can't help with at all. And I don't really know where to send them. Is this something that NewVue Communities and RCAP Solutions help with, helping tenants find apartments that fit their needs?
Yeah, I definitely think new youth housing counselors can help. It's a challenge to find apartments, and we have a list of affordable apartments. I will admit that's something that sort of continues to be a challenge, but I will say the one thing that we can do is we can help connect people in that situation to resources. So there are there's funding for people who are in transition. There are resources for once you found an apartment, but you need furniture. There are programs out there to help people get reestablished and resettled. So I would say definitely it can never hurt to work with a counselor, because they can help connect you to resources. We do have a list of partners to find an apartment, but I would say that because affordable housing is just getting to crisis levels, that is something that's going to continue to be a challenge, and we will continue to work on.
Yeah, and it's the same thing kind of for RCAP Solutions. We do offer that service, the housing search assistance. It's one of the ones that has seen a big uptick since COVID. A lot of people are moving into new apartments. So if someone needs help, we work with landlords too. So we like to foster relationships with landlords in case, if they do have a unit that opens up and we have a client that may be a good fit, we can connect them and make sure it's a smooth transition and kind of foster that relationship between the landlord and the tenant, and make sure it's a smooth transition.
Sounds like a good resource for people from all facets of of having to live somewhere. Because I find that's one of the most difficult questions I get asked is, do you know of any apartments? I don't, but maybe NewVue Communities and RCAP Solutions can help with that. All right, great. So I feel like we've gone through the majority of your programs. Is there anything else that we missed? Anything else you'd like to bring up?
I guess the message, is reach out. There's probably a program for you. If it's not a great fit, that's okay. But I think reaching out early.
I was going to say the same thing. A lot of people are unaware of assistance. Some people have never, like I said before, have never asked for assistance. But if you need help, it's absolutely imperative to reach out, because there is a program pretty much probably for anyone that's going through any kind of crisis, whether it's through RCAP, through NewVue, or if we don't have a program, we can refer you to a different agency that does.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Meredith Garrity from NewVueCommunities.org and Adam Droz from RCAPSolutions.org Thanks so much for coming
Should we,
on. And
should we just tell people now that we're here how to reach out?
that would be fantastic, Meredith.
So you can reach our homeownership housing services team at 978-288-0210. You can look up our programs at newvuecommunities.org, or you can shoot us an email at relief@nvcom.org. So that's RELIEF@nvcomm.org.
And you can reach RCAP Solutions on the web at www.rcapsolutions.org. It's RCAP, the word solutions.org. And the number for our housing programs is 978-630-6772. And we're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 through 4:30 p.m.
NewVue similar hours, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Great. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. I'm Droz and Meredith Garrity, and I am Sam Squalia. Thanks for watching, discussing Fitchburg Now. Hope you learned something.